A very warm welcome to the newsroom. I am Fidelia Aguncha. The burial of Nigeria's first female helicopter combat pilot, Tolulokpe Arotile, has commenced at the National Military Cemetery in Abuja. Arotile, who died on January 14 in Kaduna, is being buried in strict compliance with COVID-19 guidelines, and this is according to Nigerian Air Force spokesperson Air Commodore Ibikunle Daramola. At the burial to pay final respect to Nigeria's first female combat helicopter pilot are members of her family, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, Chief of Defense Staff, General Gabriel Olunishakin, Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello, House Committee Chairman on Air Force Bala Ibn Na'la, among other dignitaries. Arotile died from head injuries after she was hit by a car at the Air Force base in Kaduna. At least 5 humanitarian workers abducted in Borno State have been executed by suspected Boko Haram insurgents. The humanitarian workers were traveling from Maiduguri to Monguno when they were ambushed by Boko Haram fighters on June 29, 2020. In a 34-second video, one of the insurgents, who spoke in Hausa language, said the humanitarian workers were executed for working with the infidels. The insurgent said, quote, "This is a strong message to those who are being used by unbelievers to convert people to infidels, those who are working for the organizations of disbelievers," end of quote. They also threatened that unrepentant persons will meet the same fate if they do not desist. After speaking, 5 of the insurgents opened fire on the captives from a close range. It is unclear when the victims were killed, but the video was released on Wednesday. President Muhammadu Buhari has departed for Bamako, Republic of Mali, on a one-day visit. This will be the president's first trip out of the country in the last 5 months. Now, in a statement on Wednesday, Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, said the trip to Mali follows former President Goodluck Jonathan's briefing on the situation in the country. There is currently an uprising against President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta of Mali, who has spent 2 out of the 5-year second term in office. A resistant group known as the M5 is insistent that the Constitutional Court must be dissolved and the president must resign before peace can return to the country. The crisis had erupted after the court nullified the result of 31 parliamentary seats in the polls held recently, awarding victory to some other contenders, which the resistance groups say was at the instigation of Keïta. Eyitayo Jegede has emerged as the People's Democratic Party flag bearer for the Ondo State governorship election, which is expected to take place on October 10. Jegede was on Thursday announced as winner after the delegate cast their votes at the party's primary, which held at the International Culture and Events Center, Akure, the state capital. He polled 888 votes to defeat his closest rival and incumbent deputy governor of the state, Agbola Ajayi, who garnered 657 votes. After gathering the highest number of votes in the indirect mode adopted by the APC, chairman of the chairman of the party primary election committee and governor of Enugu State, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, declared Jegede the winner of the exercise. With this development, Jegede will now battle candidate of the All Progressives Congress and incumbent governor of the state, Rotimi Akeredolu, in the governorship election, which is barely 3 months away. Let's take a break here to bring you updates from our COVID-19 coverage. Stay with us.
Now believe this corrupting. You know, if you touch black man, if you like, gather the whole Niger, come together, make a cough. Nothing.
Which one you want?
Give me V and D.
I beg, get small pieces.
How much you want to give him?
Give me 200.
Take your change now.
You don't want your changes.
My people, this coronavirus, na serious matter. May una wash your hands regularly. Come use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. If you no see water, wash your hand. Make una sit down for house. You see this virus so, e no get leg. Na we dey waka kurukere. No waka around make the virus for die. No forget say the betterment of our people na for your hand e dey.
This message is from the Akinfade Foundation in partnership with the National Orientation Agency with support from MacArthur Foundation.
Welcome back. Nigeria has recorded 543 new COVID-19 cases, with the total infections rising to 38,344. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) disclosed this on Wednesday via its official Twitter handle. In its latest update, the agency revealed that the new cases were reported across 14 states and the Federal Capital Territory, and as usual, Lagos remains the epicenter of the virus with 180 new cases, followed closely by the Federal Capital Territory with 86 new infections. Other states with new cases include Kaduna with 56, Edo with 47, Ondo with 37, Kwara with 35, Ogun and Rivers each with 19 cases, Kano with 17, Ebonyi and Enugu with 16 cases each. The country has been able to successfully discharge a total of 15,815 persons who have recovered from the virus. However, 813 persons have unfortunately died from the disease. And amid the rising cases, the Nigeria Governors Forum has resolved to strengthen risk communication pillars of state COVID-19 task team in line with proposals made by the Presidential Task Force on the prevention of the spread of the disease. To achieve this, the state governors have also agreed to enhance collaboration with the National Orientation Agency, state orientation agencies, religious and traditional institutions, as well as civil societies. Their resolution was made public in a communique signed by the NGF chairman, Kayode Fayemi, at the end of the forum's 13th teleconference meeting on Wednesday. The governors also agreed to step up the current efforts by taking key health and safety measures to the doorstep of Nigerians in all 774 local government areas in the country. South Africa has announced a record 24 hours increase of 572 coronavirus deaths, bringing its total number of fatalities to 5,940. The country is the worst affected in Africa and among the top 5 in the world in terms of confirmed cases, with 394,948 infections recorded so far. Almost half the total number of deaths have been reported in the Western Cape province, while the majority of positive cases are in Gauteng, which is South Africa's financial hub and epicenter of the outbreak. Meanwhile, almost 60% of the country's COVID-19 patients have recovered from the virus. Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro has again tested positive for the coronavirus. His office announced this on Wednesday, saying he would extend his 2 weeks quarantine and suspend upcoming travel plans. The far-right leader, who has faced criticism for downplaying the pandemic and flaunting social media distancing measures, has been in self-isolation in the presidential palace in Brasilia since the first positive test for the virus on July 7. Bolsonaro, who is 65, has famously compared the virus to a little flu and attacked stay-at-home measures and other guidelines from public health officials. Until he was infected, he regularly hit the streets of Brasilia without a face mask, exchanging hugs and handshake with supporters and urging Latin America's biggest country to get back to work despite its rapidly spreading outbreak. Let's take a break here to bring you business stories and more. The Federal Executive Council has approved the establishment of the Nigeria Youth Investment Fund to the tune of 75 billion naira for 3 years. The establishment of the fund followed the approval of a memo by the Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Diary. The Nigeria Youth Investment Fund is for innovative ideas, skills and talents of Nigerian youths and to provide a special window for assessing fund finances, business management skills and other inputs critical for sustainable enterprise.
This fund is meant to create a special window for assessing funds, credit facilities, and financing on the part of our youth that will help to fund their ideas, innovation, and also support their enterprise. The best way to call it is that for the first time, the country will have a youth bank, a fund that will cater specifically for our youth within the stipulated age band. It's going to be between 18 and 35 years. The second approval that was secured was for the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development to play a lead role in working on necessary steps that needs to be taken in terms of legislation, organization, and other aspects of financing. The Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, of course, we take the lead when it comes to the aspect of financing, working with the CBN, with the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development, and other relevant MDAs. A couple of other details will be released much later, but I think the most important thing is that a 75 billion Naira Nigerian Youth Investment Fund to cater specifically for this target group, a population of over 68 million.
The Federal Executive Council also approved the design, construction and supply of 5 number of fast ballistic river assault boats and 5 number patrol boats in the sum of 280.9 million naira. Minister of Finance Zainab Ahmed, who announced this after the meeting, said the Nigerian Customs Service need these boats to enhance its operational efficiency and combat smuggling activities on our waterways.
The second contract that was submitted to Council today is also for the Nigerian Customs Service, and it is for the design, construction, and supply of 5 numbers fast ballistic riverine assault boats and 5 numbers patrol boats with all associated accessories in favor of Mr. Siwa West Africa Limited in the sum of 280,992,888 naira and 75 kobo, inclusive of 7.5% VAT. The Nigerian Customs Service needs these boats to enhance its operational efficiency and combat smuggling activities on our waterways. This will also significantly boost revenue collection and other core duties of maritime units of the Nigerian Customs Service.
And to the foreign scene now, the Sudanese government says it will devalue its currency and cut fuel subsidies due to a huge budget deficit and economic crisis aggravated by the coronavirus pandemic. Acting Finance Minister Hiba Mohammed, who announced this in a statement on Wednesday, said the state revenues have dropped by 40%, and this has created a huge deficit in the budget. He stressed that on this backdrop, this government must take urgent measures and change the official rate of the Sudanese pound. The minister, however, adds that the subsidies on medicine, electricity, bread and cooking gas would remain in place. Sudan has officially registered more than 11,000 cases of COVID-19 illness and 706 deaths. Victor Osimhen is on the verge of joining Napoli from Lille this summer, with a deal set to be announced on Friday. According to reports on Monday, Osimhen's move to Napoli was delayed by negotiations over the striker's image rights. However, the 21-year-old will make his much-awaited switch to the Naples outfit, with Gennaro Gattuso's side set to pay 80 million euros for the Nigerian international after reaching an agreement with Los Dogs. Osimhen scored 18 goals and provided 6 assists in 36 games across all competitions for Lille and was voted the club's Player of the Year last season. And that's it from the newsroom. Many thanks for joining. Bye for now.